This video is brought to you by Vendor Finance. If you're looking for car finance and want the best available motor finance rates, check out vendorfinance.ie and apply online today. Vendor Finance is 100% Irish owned. See the comment section for more details.
This is the Volkswagen Touareg, the big daddy of the VW SUV range. And now not only is it big, it's also badder and more powerful than ever before because they've only gone and given it the OR treatment, which with the help of a new plug-in hybrid system helps it push out a frankly insane 462 brake horsepower and 700 Newton meters of torque. Alongside this very sporty looking OR designed body kit and these massive optional 22-inch wheels makes for a very mean looking package indeed, and certainly not a car you're going to be picking a fight with in traffic, this one. It's also absolutely loaded with tech, but before we have a look at all that good stuff, we're first going to have a look at the more practical elements like how big it is and how much stuff and people you can fit inside. And the answer is quite a lot of stuff anyway. People, not so much, because despite its large dimensions, the Touareg is only a 5-seater with the space that might have gone towards an additional row instead given over to a very generous boot area. But it is down a bit on the standard model because of the battery pack for that hybrid system. And also the charging cables, which unfortunately have no other place to go than back here. Still though, there's not a lot you won't fit in this space, whether that be buggies or luggage or sports equipment. And it does also have some very handy features inside, like the ability to raise and lower the load area via this handy switch. Pretty cool. You can also lower these back seats via the simple pull of a lever. So all in all, just a very clever, user-friendly cargo area, finished off by an electric tailgate, of course, just to put the icing on the cake. Another benefit to not having an additional row is extra room to stretch out in the back. So as you can see, leg and headroom are very, very generous. It's all finished very nicely. You've got some handy bits around the place, like 2 USB charging ports down here, a 12-volt charging socket, got magazine holders, nice deep door bins, a pull-down center armrest complete with cup holders, and your own separate climate zone back here along with heated seats. So yeah, definitely not a place I'd mind spending a long journey in. The cockpit of the Touareg appears on first glance to be made up almost entirely of screen. Volkswagen used this model to debut their new 15-inch Innovision infotainment system, which I have to say was a lot more shocking at the time, but now feels just about right for a car of this size. But what I really love about this system is just how well and stylishly integrated it is. You've got this massive screen that blends seamlessly into an also very impressive virtual cockpit on this side, and then into the dashboard on the other, just for a really wow effect. And this is a wow cabin. In fact, I'm not sure there's anything else quite like it on the market at the moment. Even their supposedly more premium stablemate Audi interiors start to pale a little bit in comparison. As for how practical it is, well, if you're used to touchscreens at all, which I'm sure we all are at this stage, then it is fairly easy to get used to. Works a bit like a smartphone really. You've got a home button there if you ever do get confused and need to go back to the start. And there's a million different options as to what you actually want displayed on that home screen. And on it we have all the usual bits like radio, Bluetooth smartphone streaming, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, sat-nav, traffic updates, car settings, trip and battery data. There is quite a lot to it, so my advice would be spend some time getting to know it first before you take it on the move, because that's when it can get distracting. Things I don't like so much about it are that the aircon controls are built into it. I much prefer a dial for that. And also there's not much in the way of feedback. Now I know you can program it so that it beeps, but there's no physical feedback to let you know that you've hit the right button, so that's a bit annoying. That 15-inch Innovision infotainment system is standard on the OR model, and quite rightly so. We're going to talk money in just a second, but for me, definitely one of the highlights of the car, and that's before we even touch that 460 odd horsepower. Now you might have already guessed that the car itself doesn't exactly come cheap, and well, the standard diesel Touareg starts at about €80,000. This Touareg or petrol plug-in hybrid starts at closer to €95,000. In fact, this test car plus optional extras minus current government grants comes in at a grand total of €96,075. Now it does come very generously spec'd with 20-inch alloy wheels as standard. This one of course has been kitted out with the optional 22-inch Estral alloy wheels for a premium of €1,900, but look, at this price point, why not? You've also got heated leather seats, there's a panoramic glass sunroof, reversing camera, ambient lighting in the cabin, heated seats in the back, 3-zone climate control, and of course your TV-sized infotainment system. So pretty much everything you could ask for. So this is pretty much the already top of the range 3-litre V6 petrol Touareg engine with a 136 horsepower electric motor thrown in to up the power output and give you a few kilometres of electric range to play with. It's actually the same powertrain as what's used in the Bentley Bentayga plug-in, with a similar 0 to 100 kilometres an hour time of just 5.1 seconds and an electric range of about 45 kilometres claimed. All I know is that by the time I took it from the collection depot to my house, which is about 20 kilometres, as the crow flies, it was pretty much gone. Now that could be something to do with the fact that it's over 2-ton weight and 4-wheel drive, but to be honest, it just feels like an incredible achievement to move a car of this size by batteries at all, and it is utterly bizarre to experience a car of this size move in pretty much total silence. And the good news is that you can top it back up in just 2.5 hours from your wall box. It could also be something to do with the fact that I was enjoying myself too much, because this thing is brilliant to drive. I enjoy driving the Touareg R immensely, and not just because it's really quick and powerful, but also because of that great go anywhere feel that it gives. I mean, the raised ride height, the bulk, just makes you feel like you could drive over other traffic if it was getting in your way, which I don't recommend you do, of course, because it's rude. It's also surprisingly capable, and the drive mode selector will allow you to select different modes for different driving conditions, and you can actually feel the suspension soften when you put it in off-road mode. Then for around town and the suburbs where I live, it has been just as impressive, and while it is especially nice to drive in electric mode, it's also very satisfying when that V6 petrol power kicks in on a longer stretch. So I mean, if you're talking best of both worlds here, then this is pretty much it. Believe it or not, the combination of the petrol power and the plug-in hybrid powertrain makes it apparently capable, by robots and people much more restrained than I imagine, of 3 litres per 100 kilometres, and also, because of the plug-in aspect, reduces your emissions and motor tax to just €150, which means yes, you can tax this 3-litre V6 petrol for €150. No, it's not cheap, and yes, it does lack the practicality of a 7-seat option, but if you prefer year-round luxury to sporadic practicality, which I think I've decided this week that I do, as well as one of the most impressive, fun and exciting plug-in powertrains I've ever seen, then the Touareg is one of the finest packages in terms of space, technology and refinement that you'll find. That's my 2 cents. I'd love to hear yours in the comments section below. Please do like and share if you enjoyed the video, and if you'd like to see more like it, don't forget to hit subscribe.